Big stretch.
That's most of the time what my cats do. Big stretch.
Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
My name is Emily.
And I'm Jonah Part.
And there's three of us this week. And I'm really excited about it. Strong start. We're going to have Jo with us as much as we can get her.
Yay. Happy to be here. I'm actually rather excited because I think I've been on the podcast, obviously, with you, Emily, but I've not ever been on the podcast with Andrew. So I'm kind of like, hey, we're all kind of in the same, area interacting.
The same sense of space with similar background aesthetic choices.
Yep. Pretty much.
It's like, are you a guitar YouTuber if your background doesn't look like
this?
I don't think so.
I forgot to put my guitar back up. Oops.
I was looking around to see, there's nothing.
My head's covering the hole in the wall.
Right there. Oh, really?
Perfectly placed.
An empty spot, not a whole hole.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So what's new with you all? Let's start with Jo, because your birthday was last week.
Yes. It was my birthday last week, and a lot of fun things happened. I basically got a few new pedals, which were great. I got a Dimension C, a Boss pedal. I also got a 1981 DRV Hyperfade. I did have the white one, but now I have the black version of it, which was the one, if you ever asked me, the one that got away, that was the version that I never got. And then, Will Bennett pretty much knows that story. And then he's like, hey, they're in stock again. I was like, oh, the timing.
Oh, Will's such a sweetheart.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I said I told him that. I was like, you're so sweet. You remembered my story. And when you saw it, you told me. So I now have it again.
Oh,
the other thing that I have is I didn't plan on it, but I have a new guitar.
Ooh.
It's shiny.
It's for those who are listening, it's an Epiphone hollow body, Gretsch-ish vibes.
Yeah, it is an Epiphone Emperor Swingster. It is wine red, and it is very pretty. I love the fact that it does both single coil and, of course, when you do the pull-up on the knobs, the tone knobs, it basically turns them both into humbuckers. So it's going to be a lot of fun exploring new kind of sonic possibilities, per se. And also it has a Bigsby, which I didn't have a Bigsby before, and I always wanted to try one out. So super excited.
I like Bigsbys,
Yeah,
some people are kind of foo-foo them.
Yeah, I mean, I always, at least with my Jazzmaster and also with my St. Vincent, which I guess in some ways is more Strat-like, I guess. The tremolo bar, what I was always timing, I'd always have to reach for, it would be out of the way, and I was like, with it, it's just right there. I don't really have to go that far to get to it, and it's, I don't even have to apply that much pressure, and I'm already obviously, doing a little bit more fabu to the playing.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Bigsbys. The first guitar I had a Bigsby on was actually this white Jazzmaster.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the background of my videos.
I can see.
And this guitar shop was having a big sale, 40% off everything. And we came in kind of late in the day, and that Jazzmaster was there, and some guy was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, shit, he's going to buy it.
Oh, no.
And he turns to his friend and says, who the hell wants a Jazzmaster with a Bigsby? And I'm like,
me? Oh.
Don't insult my children, sir.
No, not at all.
Save your dumb thoughts to yourself.
Of course. What's the other things that I got? That was the gin, obviously. Thank you very much. That was
You're welcome. That's Freeland Gin.
Nice. Yes.
I sent Jo some Freeland Gin, which is a Portland-based woman-owned distillery. Yeah, I like their stuff.
Yeah, and
it's like a botanical or a dry, or
they have different kinds. I think I said
it was
dry.
It tastes very botanically. It was really good. It was 45%, which I was like, oh, it's kind of like Navy strength almost, because normally I'm used to 40%. So I'm like, yes, the good stuff.
Yeah, they had one that I had bought. It was pink, and that was extremely botanical. Yeah, very flowery, really nice. Yeah, but they didn't have that from the service I used, so I tried.
It was still lovely, so I thank you. I appreciate it. And the other thing I got was, I think you said Megan L helped with putting it together. My cat's heads on like some royal
yeah, that was her idea.
It was great. Like, I always wanted something like that, but I'm a graphics person. I could have, but I was like, I never got around to it. And then, like, when I saw the box, I kind of had an inkling. And then, of course, when we opened it up, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, so a bunch of demo people, we got together to get you those gifts. So
I
it was Anne Slakowski, Emily and Russ, Ryan from Demos in the Dark, and I hope I'm not forgetting William and Hondo.
Yeah,
so Will and Hondo Felder.
No, I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, but that was Megan's idea because we were brainstorming and
what to do.
Yeah, and she just like came in with a winning answer. I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, that totally was. As soon as I opened it, I was like, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah, and huge thanks to your partner Carlos for helping.
He's there somewhere.
I'm glad you had a good birthday overall.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So yeah, it definitely was a lot of fun, and really grateful, really thankful to everyone that obviously pitched in and got me a few things, and it was just really great.
Yeah, cool. Andrew, you got anything new?
I got out of the house this week, which is nice.
For you, man.
Saw some local
that's
band.
a big feat. Yeah.
You saw some local band.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. Something about like women in country, and although the guitar player had this really, really awesome amp, had like a wolf on the front of it.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's not up there right now. It's still
it's not.
In the hallway. I haven't put it back.
Every time I see wolves in a moon, I think of that whole 3 wolf moon shirt.
Oh, I had one of those growing up.
Sure. Well, anyway, so I got to see Emily play a show this week. I think
awesome.
Officially the first time I've seen you play a show live.
Yeah, it's weird how many times like that's been happening lately. Like someone I know coming out to see me play for the first time.
Oh my God.
I'm not complaining. Because it was the other Wednesday my brother saw me. My brother, sister-in-law, and niece all saw me play for the first time. And then you saw me for the first time on Thursday, this past Thursday.
Yep, it was Thursday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. Then we ended up in Georgetown after that till like midnight. It was great.
Nice. Yeah, we had to get home. Rick had an early phone call the next day. And also I had a gig the next day.
I had the chillest day of work the next day, so I got to stay out as late as I wanted to. But.
Nice.
Good. It's good that whenever you do get out, you get to kind of take as much of that, time as possible, rather than going, oh, I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin, gotta go home.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we definitely pushed it. So by the time we made it home, I was definitely like walking to the door, drop the keys, fall into the bed.
I'm not 22 anymore.
No. My body tells me that all the time.
No. That gig was fun. It had a pretty good turnout, and I got paid. But so for people who don't know what Andrew's talking about, I'm playing in the house band this summer for 2 editions of the Women in Country series at the Royal Room. And those are really interesting because the only rehearsal we get is the day of, generally speaking. Yeah. So we have charts. I kind of learn the songs, and if the key gets changed last minute, I kind of get like, sometimes I can pull it off, and sometimes I can't. Someone did change one of the keys. Yeah. It's always an adventure when you see like a singer puts like the key of G on. You're like, do you mean the key of G, or do you mean key of B flat played in the G shapes with a capo on? Like,
that's important. That is very important.
because I've played with both kinds of singers, ones who understand a little bit of theory, and ones who just are like, but what's the chart? So
yeah, the ones where music is theoretical.
Yeah, it's not music theory; it's that music is theoretical.
Right.
But it was great. Had a lot of fun. I hope you couldn't tell that we'd only played together the day of.
Oh my god!
But
you guys did phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you hadn't said that you hadn't practiced together before, I wouldn't have known.
That's
professionals. Crazy. Yeah, it was one thing. Yeah, one thing that's kind of funny is that previously had been a lot more singers at these. Everyone did one or two songs, one with a house band and one solo. But this time it was just 5 singers, and they all wanted to use the house band for every song. I'm like, it kind of evens out. Not too bad. Yeah. And then the next day I played a random park in Eastlake. Felt as random as it was. But nice. Yeah, it was. I got kind of annoyed at the organizers because like they gave us pizza, which was really nice. Not what I wanted, but nice.
The office pizza. Here you go.
The office pizza. And then when I asked about, they had like a cooler. They had a cooler with pop in it, soda pop, and I asked for one, and they said that it would be $2.
Oh my god! Really?
And I was like, wow, screw you guys. So I went kitty corner. There's a bar called Otter, and I knew they had bottles of water for sale, so I said, yeah, they're trying to charge me for water over there. And then the woman gave me just 2 bottles of water for free, and then I bought. She's like, we sell to go cocktails too, right?
The upsell.
Yep.
So I bought one of those
down that pizza.
Oh yes, the negotiator.
I got one of those, and I shouted them out from the stage. It was really nice of them to give me some water for free.
Yep, you gave them exposure bucks.
Exposure bucks and cash money.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you're glad you went to the Otter side of the
road. Ooh. Break on through.
Yeah. And then after the show, a couple of the band members and we went to Zoo Tavern about a block away. And I watched some guy go up to the jukebox. He played Freebird on the jukebox.
No.
Embarrassing. He played that, and he played House of the Rising Sun. Like, why are you playing just like the worst songs ever? Like the most overplayed songs ever, and those are the ones that you go to when you have a jukebox that has like literally 100,000 songs in it because it's a digital one.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the ukulele community, I would say the equivalent of like Freebird is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Everyone's like, "Do you want to play this?" It's like, "No, I don't want to play that."
No, sure don't.
No, I want to shred and play punk. Leave me be.
Oh, and that one Jason Mraz song.
Or that. Yeah, that one.
No. My favorite uke song is Tonight.
Oh yeah.
Now You Belong to
Me. Tonight you belong to me. Yeah.
Just a little old me. Bop, bop, bop. I love a song about cheating where cheating's good. Oh, funny stuff. Yeah, so if that guy played Stairway, I'm like, man, you're playing like all the songs you're not supposed to play at guitar stores.
He's like punches and sits down.
Yeah,
finger
just crosses his arms, like
a hand like just awkwardly resting on his belly. You're like, is there a finger in your belly button, or and just really awkwardly enjoying it?
So proud of himself.
Yep.
So proud of himself and his basic music taste. Like, there's nothing wrong with liking those songs. There's a lot wrong with playing them on a jukebox.
Yeah.
Jukebox should be songs that people know but aren't sick of.
Yeah.
Or just good songs.
I feel like the same goes for cover bands.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree.
There's we were at a community event with fireworks and stuff last night, and they had a cover band on stage, and they played Oasis by Garth Brooks, and I wanted to be mad with them. I'm like, no, this is a banger.
Are you talking about the song "Friends in Low Places"?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god. I'm like, Garth Brooks Oasis?
Is it not called Oasis?
No.
Why do I remember it being called Oasis? I don't know. I like the song.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah, it's called Friends in Low Places. Because you can tell in country music they love and country loves to have title of song. They start with the title a lot of times, and they like to bookend the chorus with the title, so it is more present in your memory. It's very formulaic, but it works. Yeah. So I've got friends in low places, and then it ends with "I got friends in low places."
Yep.
And yet you still couldn't remember the name of it.
Yep. No, I'm broken.
Failure. Yep. It failed.
I'm used to boring song titles.
Oh my god.
I wish people would stop naming songs like the abbreviated way you'd write it on a set list.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Like, give me long
like
song
the shorthand
titles. Yeah, it's like their shorthand. Like, if you look at, I don't like Morgan Wallen at all, and this is one of the things I don't like.
Exactly.
It's fine. Exactly. Embrace it. Let me pull this up. His discography, his most recent album. It's a double album, which is usually a bad idea.
And a full 182 views.
Oh my god, that's like having like a whole bunch of songs and just like not knowing which ones to choose. So now we just put them in.
God, it's
all
like
of them.
30 songs.
Oh god, no.
But like,
I like to call that the spaghetti on the wall approach. Just kind of throw it all and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, forget being a fly. Jesus, on the wall.
Ew.
That's pretty bad.
Just these the titles are so short and kind of dumb. That's my perspective on it.
My car, my wife, my dog, my horse, my truck.
Your bartender. Beer don't.
Beer don't? What?
Something country, this bar, country ass shit. Need a boat. That's what you'd write on a set list for a song that has a much longer title. Annoying. That's just how I feel.
Is that how you feel about it?
Yes. Yeah, but yep. Bring back long titles of songs and records.
Yes.
Not necessarily Fiona Apple long. Just
no. We don't need full paragraphs.
We don't need 90 words. We don't need a 90-word poem.
No, we don't need. I was sitting, staring across, looking at the lake. It looked lovely. We don't need those kinds of titles.
Make that the song. Just make that.
I think we should just have no song titles.
Oh my! You figure it out.
That'd be a
Russian roulette. Yes.
A great concept album where there's no song titles and you just have to go off. They just post the lyrics as the song title.
That would be the most artistic approach. That would be like, I want you subjectively of the viewer to give your own song title as you listen.
Just got a bunch of dudes drunkenly brawling at the bar at 2 a.m. over what they called the song on the jukebox. I don't know. I thought it was the other one.
Oh my god.
I just pushed a button.
It's like classical music calling stuff like Prelude 124.
Oh yeah. Elude to spring. I'm like,
Etude to spring. And if you look at what Chopin song names, they are Nocturnes, Op. 9, Piano Concerto, number 1, Etude, Op. 10, number 3.
Bless you.
It's annoying. But yeah, music's cool. I really, oh my god, gotta stretch.
Big stretch.
Big stretch.
Big stretch.
I know. I stretch when I can't do anything else.
I don't know how it is out where you're at, Joe, but out here it's overcast, which is very strange because it's been very nice weather the last few days.
Yeah, it was sunny and warm at my show, and I was using that Silk Tone Fuzz, and like I kind of set it at the beginning of the set, and then I looked down, and the bias number had changed because the temperature changed, so I just got to go down and adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, I watched that demo where you were doing that self tone, and of course it's like, you know, almost like short attention span. Oh, look, numbers move! Yay!
Yeah, no, I get that. I think it was like, I don't remember if that one had an intro, but I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times when I do the musical intros, I just take like a 2-second video of the setting, and then I play it because just to save on like bandwidth and stuff, and because the setting doesn't change. With the self tone, I'm like, I can't do that. Everyone's gonna know it's just like a one little loop, like a 3-second loop that I just like extended indefinitely to go under, because I don't want to be filming two things. Like I'm already filming myself playing. Yeah, it'd be a lot of work. So yeah, I cue it in. I do my little 3 seconds, and then I do it on my main cam.
Yeah, always try to keep it simple, or you end up like me.
Yeah, with just artistic as fuck videos. Heaven forbid.
The worst.
Yep, taking fucking months.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's hot as hell here. Yeah,
yeah, I believe it. It's gonna be in the 80s next week.
Yeah. Oh no, that would be cool temperatures for us.
Yeah, but we don't have AC.
Yeah, I am very thankful wherever I go. You know, we're kind of prepared here as Floridians that we have AC everywhere. It's either in your house or whatever store you're going into. Thank God, because it's a medical emergency if you don't.
Yeah, I've played some shows. I mean, not played. I've attended some shows where, like it's hot and then the band asks for no AC. And I actually was reminded of that because I saw Tyler Mahan Coe tweeted about how he used to have to tell bars in the summer, venues in the summer in Texas, that they had to turn off the AC for an hour before his dad took the stage, David Allen Coe, because it bothered his throat.
Yeah, I went to a show. We went to go see at the Culture Room. I went to go see Tiger Army, and the guy was up there singing on stage, and he kept obviously having to keep drinking, but he was profusely sweating. And again, it was so hot, and everybody's so crammed in this room. And he just had to keep drinking and apologizing because his voice was just, by the end of the night, like being affected by the fact that it was so hot in the room.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's voice is different and their needs are different. And some people just don't like AC. Jonathan Richman famously just doesn't like AC. It bothers him.
I love AC. I love AC. I'll be that person. I love it.
No, I'm sitting 6 feet from my AC unit. I should name it. What should I name my AC unit?
Well, Gary's taken.
Yeah. No, I can't steal Gary.
Is it Gary or Glary? What did they call that AC? Cycle Hum named their AC unit something.
Oh my god.
We just
I would go with Eric, but that's already my mini fridge's name. Melissa named that one.
We got our electrical panel upgraded, so hopefully we'll get AC soon.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, it would be great. We've already paid for it.
Put that shit in now.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, I don't want to talk about it. So I think it would be a good time to say, if you enjoy the podcast, please rate, review on iTunes, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Please give us some extra love. It helps new listeners find the show, and it makes me feel good or bad, depending on what the review says.
And if you would like to, have a venue where you can suggest names for my AC unit, we do have a Discord channel.
Yeah, if you you can join that Discord channel via Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive $5 a month tier. And we have other tiers there as well. 5 is the most popular because it gets you into our friendly little Discord server.
Yeah,
where we talk about Stranger Things. Yeah.
Yes. Secretly we talk about it. Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, I finished it last night. I don't think there are going to be spoilers
at this point.
No, I don't think we'll have any spoilers when we talk about what we're going to talk about.
Good.
But finally, if there's any merch you want, please consider using the affiliate links in the video description. We have them for Sweetwater, Perfect Circuit, Reverb, Seymour Duncan. I feel like I'm missing one. But those are our current affiliates. Please consider using them, doing the things you're going to do anyway. Love y'all.
Stuff and things and stuff.
Stuff and things. Buying stuff and things. I didn't get to talk about what's new with me. I got a purple special cranker from what's the website I got this from, Joe?
You got it from Gear Hero, I think.
Yeah, Gear Hero. They sent me this bag. It came wrapped in this bag that I don't want.
Yeah, just anybody listening, they also are the same people that do Pedal Genie, which if you are into subscriptions, it's something I did for I still do. Yeah. When it comes to renting pedals, they're really great. They have subscription program. I got in earlier, so I pay a cheaper rate than whatever it is now. But whatever list that you make, whenever you rent a pedal, you get that pedal, they send it to you. Whenever you're done, it's like Netflix. You're done as long as, you're paying the sub. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the old Netflix. Yeah, so as long as you're holding onto the pedal, you just basically get charged the sub per month. And then when you're done, you just mail it back and they send you the next pedal on your list. So you kind of, if you're on the fence about a pedal that I really don't really want to spend that money, I don't know if I'm going to like it, it's a good way to try. And when I first started, that's how I was doing it, to rent them before kind of I bought them, just to be sure that I was going to like it. So I definitely recommend. I've never had a problem with them. Really great guys, Pedal Genie, and they're located at Gear Hero. So that's why I brought it up, because it's the same place.
This is not sponsored by them, but if they would like to sponsor,
that would be lovely.
Call me.
Call me. Call me.
We can work something out.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
my people talk to your people. We'll get things moving.
Sorry, I'm just having a crisis over here. I'm like imagining telling my kid in a few years that back in my day, Netflix used to mail us the DVDs.
Sure, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
Hey, I remember when I used to have to flip my cassette tape over to side B if I wanted the other half of the album. All right, Grandma, time to go to bed now.
Oh my gosh.
I accidentally put my favorite video game in the Netflix box before we sent it back, and I never saw it again.
Did you really?
I don't think it was a video game. I'm trying to think of what it was. I definitely sent something back, and then they Netflix mailed it back just because they wanted their DVD, and we got charged like a fee or something for it.
I thought you were trying to pull one over on them.
We got the wrong one back. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like or it's like a band that you've like watched it or live or gone to, and then like your kid sometime later is like, yeah, I discovered this new band Nirvana. I'm like, yeah, I went to go see them live, and like the whole like the awkward silence of like, yeah, you just discovered music that I grew up with. That's great.
Did you see Nirvana live?
No, I did not.
Okay. I'm like, wow.
That kind of thing of like the kids like, oh, you would know
like,
about
I'm doing
it.
The math.
Like, no.
I had like, you saw Nirvana when you were like,
no. I would have been great if I would have. But yeah, it's a whole thing of like when the Angus D. Teen is like, yeah, you wouldn't have heard of them. They're like, oh, really? Let me share that.
I remember getting into like Nirvana and shit when I was an angsty teen, and I'm really glad that nobody was too gatekeepery about it, because you can't be. They're popular band.
Of course. Like I went as a kid with my dad. I saw Def Leppard. I've seen Ozzy Osbourne. I've seen oh my god, U2 I've seen live. Who else have I seen? What? Alice Cooper many times. I love Alice Cooper.
Oh, I saw Alice Cooper at Bonnaroo. Yes. It was fun.
Yeah, I love his shows. Anything theatrical drama, like I love those kind of shows. I've seen Kiss. Like I've seen kind of the classics.
I've seen Kiss too. Yeah, I've seen Kiss and Aerosmith a bunch.
Yep, I've seen Aerosmith a whole ton of times.
I bet, dude. I know why. Yeah. I speaking of Netflix, Stranger Things dropped all of its episodes. I kind of waited until they were all available and I was less busy to watch them. But I had been hearing the whole time that Kate Bush had a hit song again because it's used in Stranger Things like
40 years later.
Yeah. So because of that, she holds world records now as both the youngest and the oldest woman to have like a #1 hit in the UK. 1965. It's really cool. And it goes to show the power of this like visual media, like TV and movies, still has to make songs popular, often popular again. I feel like that's what's kind of key. Because I'm kind of struggling to think of a lot of examples of like newer songs that were really sent into fame on TV or movies, but I can think of a shit ton of examples of classic songs that exposed bands to new audiences. And Kate Bush is just one of the more recent examples of that. And it's also funny to me because like you go ahead. I don't want to get too far ahead on the point.
No, it's fine. I was just thinking of worse, like when I was younger, when I thought about when we used to listen, not with streaming, but I used to, as a kid, listen to more soundtracks, like the bands that would be on, like the movies. Like one of my favorite movies of all time, it's like the top tier for me, is The Crow. That album and also the film score, I listened to both of those, but any of the music that's there were from artists that were very prevalent in the 90s. Like they were very it at the time, but of course, unless, obviously that time period, you probably wouldn't have, they would have been a new thing. It wouldn't have been, it's many bands that we know now, but it's interesting how we're introduced.
And a lot of those songs would have been new for the movie
at the time.
A lot of times, especially whatever they picked for the single. Like you think about Batman, whichever Batman and Seal's Kiss.
Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, yes. Kiss from a Rose, that was on,
But then
that was like artists' way of like kind of trying to break into the mainstream. Like, oh, get on a movie. Like that's then I remember that's what a lot of people were trying to do.
Yeah, and looking at the track listing for The Crow, there's a mix. There's The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, Nine Inch Nails, Rage, Violent Femmes, Henry Rollins Band, Pantera, Jesus and Mary Chain. Like those are, big bands, and then some other ones thrown in there that I haven't personally heard of.
I ran that album into the ground. I guess it explains a lot of things I play.
Yeah. The single from that movie was Big Empty by STP.
Yeah.
And that song first appeared on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I bought soundtracks when my favorite bands would have like an unreleased or new song on them. Like Third Eye Blind had a song on the oh god. I don't know. They had some songs on some soundtracks, so I bought those. Just
and you'd have to buy the soundtracks. In order to get it. That's how they get us.
Although, is there an argument to be made for the biggest song on a soundtrack of all time? Because I think there's a candidate we haven't talked about yet that I'd like to toss into the hat.
I mean, I think the answer is Prince.
I was going to say All-Star by Smash Mouth on the Shrek soundtrack.
Somebody.
That is ingrained.
Yes.
In my generation's mind.
Oh, it is.
In your generations for sure. That was definitely a big example of something becoming big again. That song, but that song was huge in like 99, 2000.
Isn't that when like Shrek came out?
I think the other one on that album was "I Need a Hero" by Was it Frou Frou or Imogen Heap was also on that album of "I Need a Hero"? That also was another one that was pretty good. That was in that movie.
Yeah, All Star came out in 99 and was a hit song in 99.
Yep.
Shrek was 2001.
So that's just 2 years later.
A couple years,
became big again. I really don't like the Shrek soundtracks.
Why?
I don't like what they've done. I don't want to be too. No, let me think of how I can say this. Isn't there like a shitty ass version of Hallelujah on a Shrek soundtrack?
Oh yeah. I'm not really a fan of. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that song. I mean, I understand it's why people like it. It's just not my.
Hallelujah, performed by Rufus Wainwright.
I love Rufus. I don't think anyone should ever do that song again. No one should ever do that song ever again. And that reminds me of Thursday. You know how at the end of the show, Andrew, all the singers came up and they did a verse from "Crazy" by Patsy Cline.
Yep.
Well, someone wanted us to do Hallelujah instead. I'm like,
Oh
well,
no.
one,
No.
Katie Lang's not particularly known for that song because it's partially a tribute to Katie Lang. And I think people are going to be confused by it. And also, I don't want to fucking hear it.
That was too heavy at the end. That's too heavy a thing to end on.
I just don't like that song,
too heavy.
man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I mean, again, every song is valid in its own sense, but I don't yuck yums, but it's not my thing.
All right, list of songs featured in Shrek. I'm a Believer. That was the other Smash Mouth one. Wait, yep. Yeah, so I guess I had two, because I'm a Believer was actually the single from it. Yep. It was actually the single from it. So then All Stars Just on there. Then there's Hallelujah, as performed by Rufus Wainwright. And Bad Reputation.
Yeah, that one. That one's in there too.
That's a song I learned about from Freaks and Geeks, because it was the intro song to Freaks and Geeks. And thankfully, no one called me a poser for discovering Joan Jett from that show, like people are doing a little bit right now. Because that's the other element, as there are a lot of annoying people. It's gatekeepery.
It is. So and I hate that shit so much.
Gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss.
Yeah. So it's people who, like, I've seen memes of like discovering Kate, like how weird it is, like, oh, you didn't discover Kate Bush back in like 85 when the song came out. I'm like, no, because the people who watch the show, some of them are watching for nostalgic reasons, but a lot of them,
didn't exist yet. Them these are kids. Like, lighten up. Like, let people
their parents
enjoy things.
Their parents were kids. Yeah, their parents were kids back then. Yeah. And there's no wrong way to discover music. And
but why does it bother people though?
Because it's like an me first kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. Like, if I'm talking about the band Ghost, there's certain first two albums that people like, yeah, that's the heaviest. All the other shit is trash. That's when it was good, and they're just angusty and angry and gatekeepy, and all you normies can't be here with me. Like, I was like, all the fandom is everyone. Be accepting. The more of us, the better. Yeah. We all love the same thing. We all like different aspects of the same thing. Like,
and if you actually like
things, yeah.
If you actually like the artists that you like, you want to see them do well. And like the idea that there's a wrong way, to discover music is gross. But I think I think Me First is part of it, and I think that there's some people who think there's a right way to discover music, and that's through like diving through Record Crate or something. But like I discovered that Kate Bush song not because of Stranger Things as a teenager though, because the Hold Steady name check Kate Bush in one of their songs. And a lot of people discovered Kate Bush because a band that was pretty big when I was in college, Rah Rah Riot, covered her song Suspended in Gaffa. And so the whole say is a line, she mouthed the words along to Running Up That Hill. That song got scratched into her soul. And then as a good little Hold Steady fan,
yeah, nice.
You look that one up and you're like, oh shit, the song's great. And it's like the same. It's the same. It's so weird to say that my way of discovering music is better when yours is not, because that kind of thinking happens a lot in our culture. Like, oh, it's fine when I do it, but not fine when you do. It's the hypocrisy of it. It's not.
It's the whole thing too, where it's like, oh, now the thing that I was the only person that was, it was the cool thing for me to be coveting. Now everyone is exploring and loving this thing, and it's everywhere. And I don't want this. I want to be unique. I don't want to be part of the big crowd. Like, it's very much like I do not want this thing. I was like, no, but this is a good thing. Like, when I was a kid, I listened to Nirvana, and one of the tracks that is the most, like, I guess, underrated and most people really didn't give a shit about because it was at the end of the album, everybody fucking loved when they basically started to put it with the recent Batman movie, and it was played everywhere. Do you know how happy that made me that one of my favorite Nirvana songs, like, started to be played
Which song was
everywhere? Under the, underneath the bridge, like, that Something in the Way, like that one. So,
yeah.
like, that was started to play everywhere. And for me, that hadn't heard it in a long time, and seeing everybody fall in love with it the way that I kind of did, and even new generations, I love that. I love seeing kids discover music that I grew up with that was at the time kind of like a little known like thing, like, oh, it's, kind of like the last track, hidden, who cares, it's like something I probably just added on. But to me, there's a lot of subtext, and I love that complexity sometimes of written work. But yeah, the fact that everybody, because of Batman, it was rejuvenated and everywhere.
Yeah.
I love Batman, so I was like, okay, great, I love this even more now.
Yeah, I think there's another thing that kind of ties into that, where sometimes people who discovered a band when they were teenagers or whatever, they're surprised when there's almost like a surprise and distrust when future generations discover it. It's kind of like, it's like what Nina Strauss plays for Alice Cooper's staff.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
She talks about like going into grocery stores wearing an Alice Cooper shirt, and some guy says, "Ah, I bet you're not even old enough to know Alice Cooper." like Alice Cooper is very famous.
Yes.
Has maintained a very impressive amount of fame even as he gets older. I remember being a kid and seeing him in commercials for like back to school sales.
Oh my god. Yeah,
and if you're a certain age, maybe there might be like kind of a lull in the middle. But when the people who were your original fans have kids, their kids turn into fans too. There's this Americana band called the Bottle Rockets, and I saw them once at like a Sirius XM thing, and they were talking about how someone asked them like, how, you go to one of your shows and there's a big young crowd, but you guys have been making music for like 40, like 25, 30 years. Like what do you attribute to that? They're like, oh yeah, well we fully noticed this as well, and we were just playing shows. It was an older male crowd. Then all of a sudden, these like late teenage girls start coming to our shows, and we're like, oh cool, young fans. And then there's more of them and more of them. We're like, this is weird. Where are they finding us? So they finally went up to some of the girls, and like, just out of curiosity, how'd you find out about the band? And they would say, oh my God, my dad played your records all the time.
Aww.
And they were a little bit like, ugh, I'm old. But that's how you survive. Yeah. That's how you have a career your whole life, is when you can connect with younger generations, when your music is not so dated. And a lot of times that comes when parents introduce their kids to good music.
Yeah, like at least from my aspect of growing up with certain music, certain albums, let's say I'll use Aerosmith, my dad and my mom have certain albums that are theirs. But of course, as I reached a teenager, I would say 9 Lives was my album that I loved a lot, and that was my thing. Alice Cooper, obviously the early albums, my parents loved that. My album that was my favorite was The Last Temptation. I mean, there are different things that I can appreciate their music, but then out of that whole series of like all the music that he's released over the years that I listened to, that was the one that was in a certain period of my time, maybe in my teens or in college, that was my album. You know what I mean? But I do respect everything that came before it. And when I've gone to a Ghost show, there was like, it was 2018 November, there was such a wide array of different age ranges there because it pulls from different styles of music. I saw people that were in the 60s there. I saw people that were my age there. I saw people that were younger than me, and everybody got along, and everybody was sweet and nice and just having a great time. And I really think that's what music is about, bringing us all together and enjoying something and being in the moment.
Yeah. And to try to gatekeep any element of that is really... Yeah. It's really gross. I mean, it's one thing if you say, like, I don't want fascists to listen to our music.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. But just like if someone is pure of heart and just wants to enjoy, let them.
But is there any exception for something like, say, Glee?
What's wrong with Glee? Other than making an overplayed Journey song even more overplayed. That's a banger. That's a great song. It's a fun song.
No, it's been so the reason why I kind of in jest bring that up is, we'll say I've been together for 7-8 years, something like that. Uh-huh. And going all the way back to dating, she's like, oh, I think I heard the song on Glee. I'm like, you've never heard Jump by Eddie Van Halen? So it's just been like a back and forth, a casual teasing thing for years now. It's like we had anytime she's like, "Wait, I think I've heard the song Glee before." Like, nope, pause it. We're gonna go find the song. We're gonna like actually listen to the song.
I think part of that is, if you watch like music related television, not MTV, but like VH1 and you're my age, yeah, of course, a lot of weird 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s songs because they still played like classic music videos. They did behind the music. They did a lot of classic stuff. But if that's not like what you consumed and you were more of like a casual enjoyer of modern music, it is more likely that you're going to discover that kind of stuff through media that features music like Glee.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, like, oh my God, there's so many songs in Glee. Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Oh yeah,
there are a lot of songs. I think for me it's the analogy. It'd be like if someone's like, "Oh yeah, I had a hamburger." I'm like, "But have you had In-N-Out?" Like, let's look at the real thing now.
Ignore that.
I know that won't land with everyone, but that's a personal example for me.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's always good to, go back to the source material. I don't always necessarily think the source material is better. I had a TikTok this week where I'm like, I think there are performers where I'd rather listen to somebody else cover their music than them actually play it. Yeah. And the examples I gave were the Beatles and Bob Dylan. You can like the Beatles, you can like Bob Dylan, but you know what? I like the covers I've heard a lot better personally. They just connect with me more. And someone else said that was Tom Waits for them. I'm like, I get it. Tom's voice isn't for everybody. Randy Newman's voice isn't for everybody. And so sometimes you just want to hear somebody else like cover that who has a different take on it. It's like the Beatles, like I'm sorry, Dylan, you probably wouldn't find anybody who disagreed that Hendrix's version of All Along the Watchtower was better. Or for the Beatles, that Joe Cocker's version of With a Little Help from My Friends is better. Which is a song I found out about from the Wonder Years. No one's telling me, oh my God, how dare you discover Joe Cocker through the Wonder Years? Well, because that's how a lot of people did. Yeah. So even Metallica had to come out and like basically tell their fans to cool their jets.
Cool the jets.
Cut the shit.
Cut the shit. Stop trying to gatekeep Metallica. Because one, everyone should be able to enjoy the music that they want. And if you love a band, you want there to be new fans. I mean, it sucks when your favorite band that you used to pay $15 to see and you can get right up close, when they take off and it costs like $75 to see them
then you're
to
in
get
the
that close.
And,
it's a bummer. But good for them also.
No, and of course they transcend time. They're a new generation. There's more people discovering that they don't get lost to the sands of time. I mean, like it's kind of like a legacy that they leave behind, not only for the fans that obviously eventually move on, but the younger fans is what carries the torch from there, and it influences their music if they become musicians, and then it all spreads out like it's a ripple. It's good.
It is a ripple. That's a good word for it. Yeah, so if you're gatekeeping someone for discovering Kate Bush through Stranger Things or Metallica through Stranger Things, cut the shit.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dick. You discovered, if you're not, unless you were like a teenager in '85, you discovered Kate Bush later also.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and how did you do it? How could it possibly be the right way if someone else's right way isn't? Like, maybe you discovered Kate Bush because you like Tori Amos. That's as valid.
Yeah.
That's just as valid as discovering it through Stranger Things.
Of course. Like anybody who's ever told me, like, I discovered some music that I already knew, then I can kind of geek out with them. And I was like, oh, this album. They're like, oh, I love that. This song. And I was like, oh my God, me too. So, I mean, it instantly becomes something we can, as people, connect and share. Like, it's totally good.
Well, and I think taking another level past that, like discovering an artist, but also discovering like a whole genre or a sound
itself,
can absolutely happen. Example that comes to mind for me as I was a kid, I used to play a video game at the neighbor's house called Splashdown.
Oh my God.
Water ski racing game on PlayStation 2.
Wow.
And the soundtrack by and large is just a whole bunch of pop punk stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, this sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, like Tony Hawk and all those games, like all the racing games. I would listen to all the music tracks that came with those. Yeah, I played games growing up, so yeah, I know all about those.
Oh yeah, so like the track had like Sum 41 and SR71 and SR71. Oh, what was the song? It was like the okay, hang on a second. It was the
You can do it. You can do it.
Right Now. Right Now by SR71 was the theme song for that game. It's like etched into my soul.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk games were for me a lot of punk, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people still discover music through video games, but I never played a lot of games that have like soundtracks like that lately. Like they're more like original soundtracks, like Eastward.
Yeah, most of the games that I've been playing, I guess in my adult life, has been open world, like either The Witcher or Horizon Zero Dawn, where they all have original music, or Assassin's Creed or anything like that, where everything is kind of fully scored and immersive, which I love. I'll just listen to those tracks sometimes while I'm working.
Yeah. It's
great.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. I can't work with stuff that has lyrics in it very well, especially the writing. But I try. I still try.
Although every once in a while, like a game soundtrack, like fully original, like also takes off a bit. Like think of like the Wii, like the homepage music.
Yes. do 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 do
do do do do do. Yep.
Yeah. I've heard that on TikTok.
Yeah.
You're gonna
never forget it.
You're gonna hum anything you hear 1,000 times.
Now I'm gonna hear it all day. It's your fault.
I have fallen asleep at more sleepovers than I can count with that. Just like we're like, I don't know, we want to play another game. I don't know. And it's just like we just slowly fade. Accidentally tip over a Mountain Dew can as her hand falls off the edge of the couch.
Oh my god! And then, like as you're dreaming, you're like in the lobby.
Where are my feet? I have no feet.
I don't know what's happening. It's okay. I didn't have a Wii.
The me characters don't have feet.
Okay.
And their hands are just like floating orbs with no arms.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a time. Time is an experience.
I just got my old Wii out like last month, and I went and plugged into my TV. I'm like, oh no, these graphics are not as good as I remember them.
Oh,
I
also,
wouldn't imagine so.
If we want to talk about games and music, what do you call it? Rock Band. You think Rock Band Guitar Hero?
How do we make it this far without?
Yes.
I don't know how
we got there.
Yeah, we got there. All the roads
Carry on my wayward son.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people discovered that song from that game. I discovered it from Strangers with Candy. I don't know which is weirder. I don't know which is less legit.
Like I don't know if this is actually true, but like I have it in my mind that like Guitar Hero is the reason why Dragon Force took off.
It is, at least partially.
And what was it?
The Fire and the Flames.
And they didn't get paid very much for that.
Of course not. Yeah,
I think they had to re-record the parts, and then they didn't get paid really well.
Oh my fuck, that sucks.
That does.
Yeah. But yeah.
Although super rabbit trail, but did you guys see the video of Herman Lee's guitar neck snapping off his off the body mid-show?
No, holy shit.
I went and tossed out and caught it, and like it was a set neck, and it just through body neck and just snapped. And he just like dropped it on the ground and grabbed another one. It was like clearly not on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, he could do that. If it was any of us, it'd be like, no, God, why?
Yep.
Depends on your insurance policy, I guess.
Yeah, that if you have one, yes.
Oh, Rock Band. No, there's a whole bunch of songs in there that that I learned from Rock Band. I remember my dad played like in a garage cover band when I was in high school. I showed up like, oh yeah, I know Mississippi Queen. They're like, you do?
See, Soundgarden was on that. I'm sure a lot of people discovered a lot of grunge.
No, there was a lot of music even that I grew up with that I knew people were starting to discover because it was music I already knew. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. There was a lounge that was around where I lived. No longer exists, unfortunately. But they would have rock band nights. They would set it up, and it ended up becoming kind of like a rock band karaoke night. It was like every week. It was amazing. We'd all sing the songs that were on the track. It was great. I love playing I sang and I love playing the drums. I think as good as I got maybe was medium on drums. Coordination was not good.
There's a new Pornographers song on
Really?
Rock Band. Yeah. Family friendly. No.
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 Womp.
Yeah, Nirvana garbage. It's largely modern.
Like I'm paranoid, I think. Yeah, like modern.
Yeah, Sabbath.
Yep.
Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills. I'm sure a lot of people discovered Maiden through that.
Hills, yeah.
Yeah, The Clash, Rush, Aerosmith,
Jefferson Airplane, White
Pixies.
Rabbit. Yep. Pixies, yes.
Oh, then there are bonus
Stone Temple
songs.
Pilots, I think, was there too. Yeah, there was a lot of good music. Yeah, there was a lot of good music in that.
Yeah, and then that whole platform didn't really have a lot of staying power.
Yeah, it got to a certain point.
There's a whole bunch of sequels, but yeah.
Yeah, I think once it got to maybe like past 2, then it started to like drop off of popularity with people. So yeah, it had a good run. I mean, I wish they'd do something like that again. I mean, that would be kind of fun when I guess we can kind of gather all together safely. That would be fun times.
Yeah.
Rock Band, Guitar Hero, there's like a whole bunch of like different variations on the concept.
Yep.
I think those were the 2 big ones.
Gibson and I think Fender, or was it just Gibson licensed out the headstock shape for the controllers?
Do Sounds like a Gibson thing.
Do they break?
No, wait, hang on a second.
I'm starting to remember. Isn't there a game now that's kind of like it's rock something? I'm trying to remember.
I think that they still do. They still have it. I see people on TikTok with them all the time.
Game. Rocksmith. There it is. That's what I was trying to remember. That's the one I think that's still. Yeah, Rocksmith. You actually supposedly do learn the songs while playing the game.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff like this.
Yes, nice. OG. They're right there.
I think it's Coach Guitar has like you learn the kind of rock band sort of visualization.
Yeah.
Someone reached out to me. Yeah.
Nice.
Great use of intellectual property.
This is for the Wii.
Yeah.
I forgot I had this.
Someone reached out to us. They sell this it like you attach it to your fretboard and it has like light up LEDs.
Oh, weird.
And you're supposed to be able to learn songs that way.
Does it like lay it on the fretboard flat underneath your strings, and therefore like you follow like the laid trail like breadcrumbs? I mean,
I don't know. I
follow the yellow brick road. Like this is how
it's
you
like
play
the light up keyboards that you can get for kids.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Mary Had a Little Lamb kind of.
Right, I'll go look.
Yeah, don't. I put it in the chat.
Okay,
but I just
I see what you mean.
Learn guitar with the LEDs.
Interesting.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah, interesting. I see what they're going for. I've seen other variations of this. Okay, I understand. I know what you're talking about.
This looks like the sort of thing that'll look terrible in about 6 months as the adhesive starts to peel and leave behind a residue.
I just don't understand how you can learn guitar like that.
No,
personally,
you follow the lights. I feel like I wouldn't actually. That's my problem with like musician and stuff like that too. Like I'm just following whatever the screen is telling me to do. There's not something cohesive going on to me.
Yeah, and you're not learning the why of anything that you're doing.
Not at all.
A problem.
Right.
I have
some music theory. It's that music is theoretical.
It's playing a game. Like all I am is just hitting the dots like at the right time to it. I don't know. To me, I guess. And I'm sure some other people would feel that way, that there's a little disconnect of me actually learning, okay, what did I just do at the end of it? You know what I mean? Like I would finish and then I would be like, okay, now how do I do all that again?
I mean, you're just learning tablatures at that point.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's why That's why I'm so into books for learning things. Like I have a few chicken picking books, and it doesn't necessarily get into the full theory of anything. So it's not you don't feel like you're getting really in the weeds, but it will tell you like how to move this shape to this key, how to like incorporate it, and that's like at least that is more than just kind of learning how to be a parrot. You're like, oh, it's a little bit more like learning how to talk, like conjugate verbs almost.
Yep.
So I like that better. I don't know about this thing at all.
Yeah,
Coach Guitar is the same. They have that whole like scrolly sort of thing that Guitar Hero and stuff has, and I don't know how people learn from that.
Yeah, it's not my. I mean, some people can. I mean, again, all forms are valid when it comes to learning guitar or instrument. If that's how you learn, hey, great. I mean, I'm audio visual, so it's like YouTube videos or being in a place with someone and having some feedback is great. But for me, books are difficult, like, that whole thing. And then, like, when it comes to like playing like a video game learning like software kind of interactive app, that doesn't work for me either, but other people it does. Like, so I'm glad those forms are out there though, you know what I mean?
Works great for drummers though. It's like hold stick, hit drum.
Of course. I wish they had more kind of apps or ways in which that you can play without a drum set. They have those kind of like air drums and stuff like that they've over the years kind of developed, but I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, there was a VR experience over the drum section at NAMM this year. That was very strange because they basically put the VR headset on, like attach you the various controllers, and then they had TV behind it. It looked like they were playing like I mean, it was like PS2 graphics, but it was still like they were playing a drum set in VR.
Like you can raise the height of the drums, like you can place different ones there. Like I looked at it at the time and it was actually pretty cool, but it was like, but it's not there yet. You know what I mean? But they're trying to get there though.
Yeah, I don't know. I worry about people who learn guitar through these kinds of more visual scrolling apps. My big concern for them is how do you take that and make it so you're able to communicate with others, and I think that's an important and understated, like underestimated part. Like I was not understated, like underutilized part of music. The importance of it is not given the weight I think it deserves. You got to be able to communicate with people, and sometimes, like even on Thursday, like working with a bunch of different singers, they would sometimes we would have trouble communicating. Like, what do you mean when you? I remember there was one time we were talking, and then the drummer and I kind of looked at each other and we looked at the pianist and said, "Can you explain what you mean when you say whatever she said?"
Yeah.
Because we just have different ways of describing things sometimes. And I just want to make sure that however you learn, you have to try to learn a way to effectively communicate with others. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time.
No, I completely agree. But the more I think about it, and of course, listening to what you just said, I really think what's good about those apps or those scrolly programs or anything, if it gets people into playing an instrument, if it's an introductory thing, and then from there, they find other ways of exploring how to learn music based off of falling in love with playing the guitar, and then the other forms allow them away from the app, they've moved on, give them that kind of dialogue that they're able to communicate with people. Great. Maybe it's good introductory. I will give it that. Maybe it's a good way to get people playing.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Eventually, and that's I think that's the most important thing to get people to stick with it.
And motivated.
At a point, though, you may show up for a gig, be handed a chart, and it says like Dios al Coda, and if you don't know what the fuck that means, then you don't. Then you're gonna be lost.
The coda.
Yeah. Yeah, like what are these symbols?
Is that a state, Dakota?
And even like in charts, there are inconsistencies. Sometimes a dominant seventh is just written 7, and sometimes it's given a triangle to not confuse from major and minor sevenths.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like diminished will be what's diminished, like a dot?
Is it a circle? A circle?
Yeah, it's like a little circle.
Little circle, yeah.
And then like sometimes you get charts as F plus. F plus what?
Yeah, like that's frightening. Yes.
No, that's just the grade that I got in my music theory class. Yeah.
It's F augmented is what the plus sign means. So
okay, augmented, yeah, that would make sense.
So you like I had a chart last week and it had triangles, circles, and augmented plus signs. You're like, at least I know what this means.
Know what that means, yeah.
Because if I just played a B7 instead of a B7 diminish, it would sound shitty.
It wouldn't be the same.
It would sound wrong. Or major minor seventh.
Yeah.
It's different. It's easy.
Yeah, sometimes I would be like, I really don't want to play this F the way it is. Let me see, can I get away with an F7? Nope, that sounds too happy. Don't like that.
Yeah. But I love a good major minor.
Nice.
Fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Because I think we've been going for a minute.
A second. It's been a good time.
Yeah. So out there, if you want to support the channel, the podcast, you can like, comment, subscribe, support us on Patreon, follow Joe's channel at Pedal Playhouse.
Yes. That is the place.
And yeah, we got merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. And rating review on iTunes. Andrew's wearing our shirt. Pretty neat. And yeah, for everyone out there, thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for understanding.
Until next time, my name is Emily.
My name is Andrew.
Joan of Heart.
Goodbye.
Bye.